already have dry mouth going, why did I say yes to this? And then the Royals were like up in the box, but everybody else was like regular. So I'm waiting to go on. It was in the round. It was like 8,000 people. And I was like nervous and shit. And right before I went on, this guy yells out, dressed in that whole dish dash thing. He goes, "Hey, Bill Burr, I love you. Kick ass, man." And I was just like, what? I can't believe this guy knows who I am. And I went on stage and like, I don't know, I just started doing my shit and they were laughing, and I was doing stuff about relationships and they were laughing, which really fucked me up because I thought that, they just beat the shit out of their women all the time. And the way they were laughing, I was like, oh, the women are kind of running shit over here too. So then I just sort of pushed it. I said, I kind of noticed the chicks over here, the hot ones, they wear the veil a little bit lower. And that got a huge laugh.
They're laughing at
They are laughing.
Bill Burr sat down with Conan O'Brien and his crew for a special live recording of Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend at the Fonda Theater on Sunday night, where he addressed one of the most heated controversies of his career, his performance at the Riyadh Comedy Festival in Saudi Arabia. The appearance, which drew a packed house, became a mix of reflection, defiance, and philosophy. While the conversation was meant to celebrate comedy, it quickly turned into an exploration of artistic integrity, cultural exchange, and media distortion. The controversy began after Burr performed in Riyadh, describing it on stage as one of the most amazing experiences he had ever had. He admitted he couldn't even locate the country on a map before going, but said the trip left him stunned. When he returned, however, the internet erupted. Fans on Reddit and across social media called him a sellout, accusing him of accepting blood money from a government with a troubling human rights record. To make things worse, Bill Burr recently announced that a live taping of his podcast, initially slated for October 18th, has been postponed, a decision that quickly fueled speculation among fans and critics alike. Many interpret the move as a reaction to the backlash over his Riyadh comedy appearance, suggesting that he may be trying to avoid a hostile crowd or disruptions. On Reddit and fan forums, speculation runs high. Some believe he's running scared, unwilling to face the fallout in real time. Others argue the postponement could be tactical, allowing tensions to cool.
I can't believe you went to that place I can't find on a map. And this bot said I was upset about it, so now I am. I can't believe how much anger I had about this issue after it went viral.
So you're here to apologize?
No, not at all. It was one of the most amazing experiences I've had as a comedian. It was incredible. And what was the best part is my whole life is I've been paranoid about the news. Like I watch the news and I always go like, this doesn't feels like they're moving stuff around, they're shifting it. So to actually kind of be in the middle of one of those stories and actually confirm it and watching them lying their ass off, saying there was no women there, which was a lie. It was just great to be at home. I fucking knew it. I knew they were lying.
All right.
It's not all right. It's really
like
fucked up that they do that.
You sound like anyone's uncle yelling at the TV.
And to their credit, they said, all right, what do we got to do? And they basically whittled it all the way down to you couldn't talk about any religion. Theirs, yours, anybody else's, and you couldn't make fun of the royals. That was it. And I know a lot of people are like, well, that's fucked up, man. It's like, well, they just progressed the ball like 10 yards, and it was amazing. And we get there, it's like in the round, and I'm waiting to go on, and everybody in the crowd is dressed like fucking Yasser Arafat, right? And I'm sitting there going like, am I getting and they go, just to let you know, the front row is diplomats. And I'm like, well, what the fuck are they doing?
Burr argued that critics who labeled him a hypocrite were missing the point. He believes that real understanding comes from traveling and meeting people, not sitting on a couch listening to some talking head. The notion that the Arab world is only guns and extremists, he said, is ignorant. His job as a comedian is to take audiences from one point to another, to push boundaries gently, not by boycotting, but by showing up and performing. The people there, he felt, wanted that push. They wanted to laugh and to test limits. Isolation, he argued, will never lead to progress.
Listen, what went going on over there was a super positive thing. If you actually give a fuck about those people and how they're living over there, there's going to have to be these types of things to kind of pull them in. And I will tell you, the Cheesecake Factory in Riyadh, man, it's incredible. It's right next to the Pizza Hut and the KFC. And if you want a pair of Timberlands, it's across the street next to the Marriott, catty corner to the fucking Hilton.
Did you have an inkling before you went to Riyadh? Did you or the other comedians have any sense that there'd be this kind of response when you got back?
No, I had no fucking idea. Because you know what was funny? One time I did Abu Dhabi. And one person texts me, oh, you're going over there to get that blood money, right? And I go, hey, just for the record, I'm also doing London, England on that tour, which is arguably the bloodiest fucking money out there. So there's like that element of racism to it where if brown people are doing it, it's fucked up. If white people are doing it, whoa, what are you talking about? Almost like sports. So, yeah, my team doesn't cheat. Your fucking team cheats. So, I mean, if we're going to do the blood money game, I think the only countries I've ever played in that is clean money was New Zealand and I think Iceland.
Burr also described the setup of the Riyadh show. The performance was held in the round with the audience surrounding the stage. He said the crowd was dressed in traditional clothing and brought an energy that made the night special. Initially, strict rules were imposed on the comedians, but those restrictions were gradually reduced until only two major topics were off limits: religion and the Saudi royal family. For Burr, that was meaningful progress. He called it moving the ball 10 yards forward, and insisted it was part of a broader positive shift happening there. He argued that exposure to outside culture and entertainment was necessary to pull them in, seeing it as a slow but vital evolution toward openness. He pointed to the presence of Western chains as evidence of this progression. The Cheesecake Factory, right next to Pizza Hut and KFC, Timberland across from the Marriott, catty corner to the fucking Hilton. To Burr, these details symbolized the society in transition. The people he met were warm, funny, and, as he put it, silly.
The thing that I loved about going to these Arab countries is that their sense of humor, they're silly. They're really silly. And I'm a silly person and like Anchorman type of shit. But like, they don't fucking show that over here. So it's kind of fun to get a worldview by going like a little more of an informed worldview than, if you sit on your couch and let some talking head, then you just think it's machine guns and people saying all of that stuff. And it's like, I don't know. It was a really I was like buzzing after the show. That's what a good time it was. And all of these fucking assholes that didn't go and never will go, all they're ever going to see is, the machine guns. And if that's how you want to live, that's how you want to live. I don't give a fuck, Conan. And if it affects my career, I've been to LAX enough in my life. I'll fucking sit home for a little bit.
What emerges from Burr's defense is a worldview grounded in cynicism, but tempered by experience. He sees the world as complex, full of contradictions and hypocrisy, where media narratives are fluid and outrage can be performative. His trip to Riyadh reinforced his belief that people everywhere are fundamentally the same, and that comedy, when done sincerely, can bridge cultural divides even under constraints. The Backlash, however, reflects a deeper cultural fracture. For many fans, performing under censorship in an authoritarian state represents a betrayal of the very freedom Burr built his career on. For others, his willingness to perform despite the criticism symbolizes a kind of fearless pragmatism, engagement over isolation, experience over ideology. The debate around Burr's trip is less about comedy and more about the moral calculus of modern entertainment. It raises uncomfortable questions about where art ends and complicity begins, and whether performing for people can ever be separated from performing for power.